Microphone 2.
Chair, I would like to reintroduce Rita Mazalevskis.
Thank you, Ms. Mazalevskis. How are we doing?
Hello, good. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
That's good. How's your powers going?
Well,
I don't want to start calling you Mr. Morrison.
they'll be my powers will be we settled after the meeting apparently when the voting closes.
See, you don't need any more. You're fine. You're cruising along. Okay, I just want to discuss the Austrac issue.
Yes.
So I just want to read a little bit of this out just for the audience. In April this year, Austrac accepted an enforceable undertaking from NAB to lift its compliance with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing laws. Following its investigation into compliance with certain AML-CTF requirements by certain reporting entities within the group, Austrac's enforcement investigation identified concerns about NAB's AML-CTF program, systems and controls. Austrac identified non-compliance in targeted compliance assessments, as well as through self-disclosures from NAB. Austrac states NAB has undertaken to implement a comprehensive remedial action plan, which will see improvements to its systems, controls and record keeping, including applicable customer identification procedures, customer risk assessment and enhancement, and enhanced customer due diligence, transaction monitoring, governance and insurance, and the NAB designed business group AML-CTF program. Then further in the annual report, under financial crime, it states, financial crime has a devastating impact on the group's customers and community. The group has zero tolerance for criminal activity and remains dedicated to effectively managing financial crime risk and ultimately keeping customers, communities and the financial system safe. So I would like to highlight to the board and make them aware that you would have a lot of aggrieved customers out there who have been harmed through this exact AML-CTF non-compliance through their loan process, and which some, which would include fraud, which is not easily found, as we've ascertained today, and which some have had their homes repossessed. So I wanted to find out, with this Austrac issue and the undertaking, what is the structure of the remediation plan for this issue?
So, so for the benefit of other shareholders who may be aware, NAB was found to have a number of shortcomings in its AML processes, and we have entered into a remediation action plan to correct those. Ms. Mazalevskis has already articulated many of those, which are about customer identification processes, ongoing customer due diligence, and in high-risk customers, enhanced customer due diligence. Very little of the AML-CTF legislation applies to, it does apply to loan accounts, but that's not itself a significant risk area. Most of the AML controls relate to properly identifying customers and then monitoring their activities, particularly payment activities, bearing in mind that AML is essentially trying to identify where money laundering may exist, and CTF is to prevent the financing of terrorism, and that typically involves payments. So the particular controls are most significant in terms of payments offshore or payments outside of the banking group. But that's not to say that there aren't some areas of lending that are covered by AML fraud, because purchasing of a property and then reselling it may well be a money laundering activity if not done properly. But that's different from other forms of home loan fraud. I don't want to make sure we don't confuse those.
Okay.
And we have a program which we agreed with our regulator, and we're proceeding to implement that program. We have a structure in place where the board oversees that on a regular basis.
So we're now in December 2022. Given what happened to Westpac and CBA, How has there been so much time frame between these issues for this to only just rise now about NAB?
Oh, it didn't just arise now. We started, as I recall, in our 2017 annual report, we put in place a contingent liability disclosure identifying that we had some of these issues underway, and we've been working with Austrac pretty consistently on those to resolve them. So it's been going on for some time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.